Article. Yes, hello everyone. Yeah, before starting, just give me update on Excel. Yeah, quickly.
Hello, Misbah. I have
Yes,
not
yes.
finished it fully, but I have worked on almost every sheets that were there. So I have added something or the other to all of them. And like for risks, I have added what the risks are, what the impact is, but I have not done the Tara mitigation at the moment. So there are
You have
bits
any
that I have.
problem in that?
I think I'll have to connect with you some day. But as for now, there are some issues, small issues, but not something major.
Okay,
Thank you, Misbah.
no problem. And what about E3? You have done the recording of E3?
Misbah, I did
You
some
did last
recordings,
time, right? Okay.
but I also went through the PDF file, the notes. I went
Right.
through them, but I did some recordings, not all the ones.
We have to speed up, it's already time now. Okay, what about others? Because the deadline was uh, April 30, as we guys agreed. We'll finish by 30. Okay, just a quick one.
Sorry,
Anirudh, yeah.
sorry, Misbah, I wanted to ask one thing. Until when can we book the exam? What's the last date? Is it the 4th?
I think it's 6. You can just check. I have shared that on the group
Yeah,
already.
I remember. I'll have a look there.
Yes. Yeah. Satish, I already got up. What about Anirudh? Utkarsh?
Yeah, I am catching up, Misbah.
Okay. Please, I know your work situation you spoke recently, but we have to speed up. What about Mr. Amir?
Musba, I've
Uh,
pretty much finished everything. I've just got the financial analysis to do, which I'll complete today. I've completed just all the tabs.
Financial analysis is pending, you're saying.
Yeah, just that's one tab that's pending. I've completed all other tabs. Today I'll finish the financial analysis.
Superb, superb. So obviously, if we are, don't try to do everything in one day because that's also about understanding.
Yeah. No, no, I did the rest course of this week. So yesterday I did sat and did a few regarding the trending issues in pre-scene and some real world examples. Today I'll finish the financial analysis and Excel will be completed, and they'll forward it to you.
Superb. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yes, Amir.
Yes, I have started working on the Excel sheet already. So maybe in 3 days I will send it to you.
3 more days.
Yeah, 3 days.
So by Wednesday,
Maximum by Wednesday.
how many tabs you have completed? Any specific?
I've completed 3 tabs. Financials, BOD, and PESTEL.
Okay. So Pestel will give you good background for risk, and
Yes.
Pestel again it can help in SWOT also.
Right.
This analysis might sound very basic sometime, at strategic level, why you are asking us to do Pestel and SWOT.
It is pretty basic, but it gives you sufficient information about this.
Yes. And many time students struggle with the quantity in the exam. So this will help us in the quantity also.
Right.
Yeah. Sachin, you don't need to rush now. Akshay, what about you?
Misbah, I'm almost completing my Excel, uh, trying to find more real world scenarios and everything I'm adding on. And like video, I checked for E series, not all, but yeah, almost everything is 70% I have done from it. And I just saw a mock yesterday for just
Mhm.
the questions and everything. So yeah, like I feel I can complete the Excel in next few days only. But yeah, I need to go through with them because I'm using bit of Chat GPT and online data as well because I'm not able to find all the you are not getting I'm not getting everything in my mind, so I'm using everything to write it down. It
Right. You can use the resource, that's not a problem, but make sure it's not a copy paste. That
Yeah.
is all about understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Just write what you understand in the Excel. If you don't understand, we can discuss.
Okay. Okay. Misbah, in one thing, in real world scenarios, when I was trying to find out, there was few scenarios from like normal 3D printing, but other scenarios were there for comparison for like Boeing, Nokia, Microsoft. Can I take those for just to understand? Like everyone has their own way of explaining. Like Nokia failed to adapt new innovation, so it shows that technological compliancy and these kind of matters I can add on. If we are not trying to do the similar, it would be impact our business as well. Will it take as like, can I explain it with way in
So
exam?
basically, you want to use a real world example outside the industry, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So can you use it? The answer is yes. First,
Okay.
try to use something from industry, but
Yeah.
currently this industry is like a niche market and we don't have very famous examples. So we can use outside the industry also, not a problem.
Okay. Okay.
But when you're using example, obviously use this kind of which is very famous, so the
Mm-hmm.
examiner also understand.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nokia was famous, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
obviously very famous. Like Microsoft acquiring LinkedIn, then Meta acquiring WhatsApp, Insta, everything. So
Yeah.
these are like famous acquisitions you can talk about. Then we have other failure example as well.
Yes.
That will
Well,
make sense.
if you done with the mock, like I have a query with the third question, like I'm not able to understand properly, but yeah, we'll gonna do it
That's
over
what
the.
we'll discuss now.
Yeah.
And E3 also we can quickly go through. E3 is very logical and most of the topics are repeated, but we can go through it. I want you guys to increase the number of hours now because already May started and we need to speed up. What about Mr. Parker? Mr. Parker?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, Miss, but I went through the mock you had given yesterday, but I started working on the Excel and the recent, I had not done, couldn't do much. I prepared a lot of notes and understand the whole material I have to read. Unfortunately, I don't know whether it's silly mistake or what happened. The file didn't get saved. I couldn't share it with you. I have to do the work again. I will do it today now, and I'll share it with you. I started working on it. I'll prepare and give it to you mid of this week on the Excel. And with the case, I went through the case study, and after going through the understanding on the case study and also the mock questions, I think I can give it a try. To an extent, I can write, but I need some more time to prepare and give up more better answers. So
Super.
I'm taking the first. I want to finish off the my Excel file. I don't know what happened. I was a little worried on the material. I put it on my drive only to send it to you. It got corrupted. I don't know why.
No problem, you can do it. So it will also give us an idea how much you remember and understand.
True. I did go through
Anurag?
the material, so
No problem. Anurag?
Yeah, Miss Park, good afternoon. Actually, I'll be very honest, I completed all the videos and lectures, but still I need to go through the Excel and the mock. We'll do it in a day or two. The Excel and mock will be completed in 2 3 days. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, no problem.
Oh.
So we'll start with the mock now. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Park.
So basically, the mocks are uploaded on the drive. You guys can access. So what we are doing now is we'll discuss the question, how to read the question. That's the primary aim. How to understand the reference material. Then I'll give you some time. You can come up with the pointers. Ideally, we have to write it completely, but obviously we don't have that 3 hours now, and you guys are also not prepared. So you can do it later in the evening, or you can tomorrow. So tomorrow also you have to do invest entire 3 hours to do it. But we'll try to do at least 1 or 2 tasks in the session now. Okay, or we can just do one, then discuss the points you have. Basically, Our main aim is to understand how to read the mock, how to apply our knowledge, okay, and a little bit of structure as well. Any questions before we start?
No.
No,
Why
Mr.
this is important? Because the number one reason why students fail in the exam or have resit is misunderstanding of the question. Why they misunderstand? The first thing is about time pressure. They get nervous. Okay, so you don't have to get nervous, or maybe you have to be less nervous, be composed. It's a very simple English, but if you take unnecessary pressure, we can measure it. I have two incident in the last February exam and same thing in November exam. I have two students, two different students. Both of them worked extremely hard. Even they took off from the work, and they were like the hardest one, smartest working in the group. And I was aiming rank for both of them. And guess what? Both of them failed in the exam. They got failed by 4 5 marks. It was very unfortunate. When we dig in deep, and now we have suggested answers and the exam question also out for the previous batch, and it was only because we sent out the question. I was just talking to him, and he himself realized, and we were discussing that one last task he went totally in a different direction. So we lost almost 20 to 30 marks in that particular question, just one question. So you have to be very focused. Sometimes 3 hours can be really long, sometimes 3 hours can go very fast, but you have to be focused. And last 5 minutes, they'll give you a pop-up on the screen, that last 5 minutes review your answer. So stop writing in the last 5 minutes, review what you have written, make sure you have answered what the requirement is. Many times, let's say a simple example, if they ask you advantages, some students try to be over smart and they want to write disadvantages also. They'll write advantage, advantage. You are wasting half of the time by writing disadvantage. If they don't ask, don't write. You'll get marks only for what they have asked. So don't waste time writing anything extra. And there is a probability we start with something and we can end up with totally a different thing. So make sure we are just doing the requirements what they've asked for. Okay. So this is the first question. Screen is visible.
Yeah.
Always read with the subject. So we know where it is coming from. CFO, your position, aerospace supply position, division performance. So basically, aerospace is where we have the biggest customer coming from. The revenue, if you see by industry, the biggest is coming from aerospace. How we know that? We know it from the industry analysis. So we already expected this kind of question can come. This can be the exam question. There is high probability you will get from this industry. Why? Because most of the customers are from this industry. To save time, always start from reading from directly from here. We'll come back here, but read that two-liner. This is the most important. Evaluate the acquisition option to secure your own metal supply in light of the recent international developments affecting availability. So what they're saying, evaluate the acquisition option. Acquisition is a very commonly asked question we just discussed on F3 recently. Option to secure our own metal supply in light of the recent international development affecting availability. So because of geopolitical situation and everything, we are planning to safeguard our supply chain. Okay. Second, reflect on how the sudden fall in extrusion revenue may influence our short-term financial position, especially in relation with funding stability. So this is more about the cash flow. Make sense? Now we'll read the background. Why we have read this first? Because we want to understand what we are looking for. Imagine if you have read this line first, then we read reference, then in the last we are reading the question, we'll be confused. We don't know what we are searching for. But now we know what we are searching for. Then we'll come back on the question again. You can spend good 10 minutes on the question. That's not a problem. Even 15 minutes, that's also fine. But in 15 minutes, I'm expecting you to come up with the pointers also. Okay. Now go. I have attached an extract from the latest board report summarizing the recent disruption of aerospace metal supply and the unexpected downturn in the extrusion division. These developments have surfaced to a sensitive moment given the commitment we already made in the aerospace sector and the reliance our funding partners place on stable division performance. Okay. The board is looking for clarity on how these issues might influence our broader direction, particularly as we consider the implication for supply, security, client confidence, resilience, and financial position. There is nothing important in here. Just giving you the background. So every question will have a reference material. Those who are writing case study exam for first time, and reference material is a very good tool to use it because it will give you more detail on the top of the pre-seen industry analysis what you have done. If you want, you can make notes from your resume. Okay, so Kwirtmak has been advancing plan to strengthen its position in aerospace sector. Why we are doing it? Because it's the biggest customer, the biggest sector, including negotiation to acquire an overseas producer of titanium and gold. So we don't need to worry so much about what the technical part is. Ultimately, the question is about acquisition. So your mind should already start thinking about suitability, acceptability, feasibility, and valuation methods. All of this should be on top of your mind. This move was intended to provide greater certainty over long-term material availability, reduce exposure to volatile supply markets, and support our position as a reliable aerospace partner. The acquisition was viewed as a way to stabilize input cost and protect our ability to meet increasingly demanding client specifications. They have given you the background on theory, but nothing has been mentioned with the numbers. What synergy will create? No, it looks more like a risk management thing, right? Then a recent shift in international policy has resulted in an immediate halt to outbound shipments of these metals from this region. This has disrupted our expected supply pipeline and created uncertainty around our ability to meet as production. All the background. This one has raised question about the timing and availability, the potential of prolonged. Several aerospace clients have already requested clarity to how we intend to manage situation, maintain delivery commitments. What is the situation? This is a geopolitical situation, supply chain risk, all of that, logistics issues. Separately, the legacy extrusion division has reported sharp 23% revenue decline. Now, the second part of the question, the cash flow, that has been discussed here. The division has historically supported group liquidity, and the downturn has already prompted questions from lenders regarding the resilience of a short-term finance position. Early indications suggest that the fall in revenue may place pressure on liquidity buffers, sensitivity of funding arrangements to further movements. So a lot of information. Usually you will have half of this, or sometime you'll have this much. So as you can understand, we have to read fast, make notes, and while reading itself, we should start getting the solution. Clear? So now you have known the background to the scenario. Just to be on the correct line, you can read the question again. I'm just saying you the approach. But if you are very clear, you don't need to read again. But we have to do one by one, so it's better to read at least the first one and get the 5 pointers first. Why 5 pointers? Because it's 50%. That's the minimum. If you can write 6, 7, 8, that's even better. Evaluate the acquisition option to secure your own metal supply in light with recent international issues. That's it. Yes, Jebal.
Miss, I just want to understand how many points I can give for the each question, because I tried to do for mark in the other CIMA India. It's very hard to manage the time during the conclusion. So I just want to give your, I want to know your input so that I can do the time
Yeah,
management.
that's what I'm saying. So for 50%, you need to write minimum 5 paragraphs.
So means
Total 10 paragraphs.
half an hour I need to spend for one question.
So time basically you can depend on how you want to do. If it is 40-60, also sometimes student do half of time. Like here it is exactly
Mm.
50-50. So 30 minutes, technically 25 minutes, because 10 minutes already gone in reviewing the question and the scenario.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So means you're telling after finishing everything, I need to have buffer 5 minutes to read out all answers.
Yeah. So in 55 minutes, you'll be finishing everything. In the
Mm.
last 5 minutes, you have to quickly have a
Mm.
glance only on the question
Mm.
and read your answer. So if there is any
Okay.
spelling mistake, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes what
Correct.
happen, not sometimes, many times our thoughts run faster than we type. You feel like
Mm.
you have written something, but you have not written. It's just in our mind.
Correct.
This small silly mistake we should avoid.
Mm.
So what point can we write in the first one? Evaluate the acquisition option to secure our metal supply. Firstly, tell me if the question is clear. Forget about the answer for a minute. We'll discuss together.
Yes, Misbah.
For everyone is clear. If you understand the question correctly, you are already done 50%. You're already won 50% of the exam without writing a single word. Even the second question is clear. Reflect on how sudden fall in extrusion revenue may influence our short-term financial position.
Yes, Misbah.
So basically, both the scenarios are around this aerospace industry. First, we need to discuss advantage and disadvantage of acquisition. Second is we have to manage our cash flow. Simple.
Yeah.
So what points you can think in the first one? But before that, I want to know from everyone, is the question clear? The scenario clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
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 All of you, right?
I think here we can do the backward integration acquisition.
Okay. What are the positive points if we go ahead with that? And what are the
Yeah,
negative
just
points?
it won't affect the supply chain. So it will be our control so that it won't affect our customer to get the things on time.
Okay.
Fund availability for acquisition.
So
We have
fund
fund available.
availability we can use for blind finance.
You're saying fund available. Why you're saying fund is available? And why
No,
it's an advantage?
Misbah, it's a disadvantage. Actually, we don't have fund in as a cash. We don't have much fund in our hands. It's a disadvantage, Misbah. For acquisition, we need some funds in our hand.
Right.
But as of now, like Kwirtmak don't have much fund, so it will be difficult to manage this acquisition, and they need to leverage.
Right. So we have to raise finance
Yes.
external. So usually we answer this question in three sections: suitability, acceptability, and feasibility. Suitability is like whether it is suitable for us or not. No. Overall business. Acceptability is about the stakeholders, like the shareholders, the bank, the employees, everyone will accept it or not. And the last one is about the feasibility. Do we have the resources, financial resources, human resources, technical resources, legal, everything to go ahead with that? So here all of you can even bring in different pointers. That's completely fine. But more or less it should be from that perspective. That three main criteria. Or if you want to just write in simple half of the answer as advantage, you just write header as an advantage and you write 2 3 points, then disadvantage 2 3 points. That's also fine.
So, Misbah, in last, in like in the conclusion point, we need to give our opinion, right?
Yes. So they don't ask, but as a leader, you have to always talk about your perspective.
Yeah.
Leadership skill is indirectly tested, as we have discussed many times.
Mhm.
Ms. Can I ask something, please?
Yes.
You said we can use SAF to answer this question, and you also said we can use advantages and disadvantages, right?
Yeah.
So under SAF, like for suitability, would we have to write advantages and disadvantages, and then for feasibility, advantages and disadvantages? That's how you said?
No. I said there are two different ways. One is advantage you can write directly.
Yeah, and
Other is you can do a test whether it is suitable or not.
we got it, got it.
Okay, what is SAF quickly? Let's say if you're buying a car, okay, directly, indirectly, we use this SAF model in every decision in our lives. Even you might have done while choosing SIMA. So if you are buying a car, so you'll see whether it is suitable for me or not. Let's say you have bought something last month, you have already got an EMI, or you have commitment to pay. So you'll see how much commitment I already have, whether it's suitable for me to buy a car in this month of May, or maybe it's an exam time. It will take a lot of time. You don't want to invest in that, so it's not suitable for you now. Or maybe you have already bought car last year. You don't need it. It's not suitable. Or maybe it's suitable because you have moved to a new city and there you don't have public transport.
Makes sense.
So that's the suitability, whether it is for me or not. Second thing is acceptable. Acceptability is like now you're buying a car, whether you have, uh, let's say you have a smaller car, you're going for a bigger car now because you have bigger family or you have your parents also. That's the one thing about acceptability. Another thing you'll see whether you have parking or not. That's again acceptability. Then if you are having other stakeholders, let's say your partner or anyone, you want to discuss with them whether they are happy with this particular car you're looking for. That is also acceptable. So you are searching for a stakeholders, and for stakeholders, you like at high power, high interest stakeholder first, right? Then the last one is the feasibility. We all do that. Feasibility is like what is the feasibility thing in a car? You look, do we have the money? If you don't have money, can I lend it? Or can I go for any EMI option? Bank loan or personal loan like that. Then do I have the license? Do I have the legal uh, permission to drive the car?
Got it. Also.
That's all feasibility. So directly, indirectly, these things we are doing in all our life, whether it's suitable for me or not, whether it's acceptable for my stakeholders or not, and whether it's feasible or not. Or a simple way, again, to buy a car at this moment, you can say what are the advantages of buying a car for me and what are the disadvantages of buying a car for me at this moment. Especially the suitability, the first point that keeps on changing. Maybe it's not suitable in this month, but after 6 months, it will be suitable. Same thing for the business. Maybe this acquisition is best option for us, but it's not suitable now because we're already struggling with our financials. We're already having so many risks going on. We're not able to manage it properly. Why to take another uh, extreme risk now? Let's wait for things to settle down. Then we can do something extra.
So I have a query over here.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
in suitability, do we need to write down the advantage and disadvantage, because it could be suitable or it could not be suitable? There would be both points. So, or we just need to explain the positive part if we have a mindset of acquiring something, and we can or because in suitable also I can feel both. I can write both the
Right,
things.
right. So if you can write advantage and disadvantage suitability, I think it will be a little confusing.
Yeah.
It's yeah, but sometimes it can go both ways. So I would say in that situation, try to be a positive person.
Okay.
If you want to add little bit, is fine, but don't do lot of segregation. Suitability, advantage, no. Suitability is like a test. Some of the facts are obvious. We are not doing financially good,
Mm-hmm.
right? Our margin, profit, everything is getting compromised. So you can add that point also in suitability.
Okay.
No need to
Okay.
do a separate paragraphs, because if you do like this, in suitability you will write two paragraphs, acceptability, feasibility, six paragraphs here only. Then you have to do a recommendation, seven paragraphs. Then time can be another issue. So when you start your answer, you should have planning how big I will write, how much time I will invest in that. Otherwise, we have just done half of the answer and the time is up.
Yeah, and I think so. Before writing it or while writing, I need to understand, are me in the favor of doing acquisition or not?
Mentally, you should be very clear. You can see the end goal. You should already imagine how your answer will look, what will be your recommendation, what is your justification.
Okay.
That's very clear. That's the reason I was saying you can even take 15 minutes max to max. But why you are taking 5 minutes extra? Because you are thinking about the pointers. What I usually recommend, and even I did in my exam and it helped, is I came up with the headers while reading itself. I took all the headers, just one word or two word headings. What I'll be writing in the first one, then the second one. So later on, we just have to elaborate. Obviously, you have to think, but once you have a structure, things become very easy.
Yeah.
Because what will happen now, we are discussing this, and I can definitely assure you, if we discuss the same question tomorrow, all of us, including me, will have different points for the same scenario, isn't it?
Yes.
At least 50% different. So same thing can happen in the exam. Even in 1 hour, sometime you start with one mindset. Let's say you're positive, but by the end of the time, in 1 hour, you become negative and you recommend, I don't want to go ahead. But previously, in the previous paragraphs, you have been very positive, and suddenly recommendation is negative. So that's like too much of contradiction. Don't confuse the reader. You can control the thing. You can be positive. It's totally up to you. I would suggest be positive. The first reason is because you can write more.
Okay. Okay.
You have to write big quantity. Quality matters, but quantity also matters. Yeah. What else will consider for acquisition?
I think as well we need to see if the company we are acquiring it does not divert us from our strategic goal, our vision, and our strategy. It doesn't deviate us from what we want to achieve.
Okay. What about the feasibility? Do we have the resources?
Misbah, this question it doesn't mention what price they would be expecting.
Right.
It's
They have not given a number.
it's not easy to say if we can easily acquire it or what kind of funds we would need. We have around 136 million in cash. If it's around 50 or way less than that, then it's a easy acquire. Otherwise, we'll have to look for options.
Yeah. So you can write this point exactly the same. You can say we have some funds, but that's not big enough. However, if it is less than that, we can find we don't have clarity for the number yet. You can mention it. What else you need in feasibility?
Miss, actually, it is international development, right? So means we already have another three factory in the other country, so we have a good experience in the industry. Then the people skill we already have, so they have very sound knowledge about currency risk and other things that in dealing, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, it can move in the positive directions, acquiring the backward integrations.
Right. And make sure you highlight that point. Our majority of revenue is coming from this industry.
Yep.
In fact, for all our competitors, is coming from this industry.
Mm.
And the margins are very high. The industry we are in, the margin is very high. The business we are in.
And Misbah, in this, can we add like in below point they were mentioning there is a disruption due to logistic issue. So we should acquire the company which is there would be no logistic issue even if it is a geopolitical tension. So those point we should add
You
on.
should definitely add. That's the reason we are doing. So this is like a change happening, and this is a change what we are not doing by our own with our excitement, or we want to do it, but it's kind of a force thing. It's like a risk management, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
A response to the geopolitical tension, the increasing risk for our supply chain.
And just to add on with it, like to for a content, even if we are acquiring something, but still we need to diversify as supply chain, like just to make more bigger. Is it fine to add those things as well?
You can definitely add.
Okay.
You have all these points in the reference material, and this is for this question. You should use that scenarios. So when it is for a risk management perspective, when we are doing it as a response, even if we don't have that resources or we can manage, but we have to do it. Otherwise, if we lose the client from this industry, we can go even bad. Our share price will even reduce to worse. It's already bad, but it's already worse.
Mm-hmm.
If you compare from the last 5 years, it can go even bad.
Yeah, further, Misbah, as we are on the bottom of the in terms of stock market, like in terms of share price, so it will provide a positive impact on the shareholders or on the stakeholders, as we are more focusing on strengthen our business chain. So
Right.
it will create a positive impact.
That's true.
Also, Misbah, the case study mentions of sustainability, and but our company is struggling with metal. The recyclable metal is less. So we'll have to look if after acquiring we could increase our recyclability or not. Just to strengthen our sustainability factor.
No, sustainability it depends. They have not mentioned specifically here. So if you want to add, you can use the term like we can, rather than saying we will. How many of you think like we should not go ahead with the acquisition? You want to do a recommendation to, against this? Any one of you who thinks? Sachin, you can also add point. I know you have not gone through the scenario, but based on basic understanding. Yes, Mr. Parker, you are saying something?
No, no, no.
Misbah, if I'll go negative or against it, I cannot write more. Like the content would be pretty less. This is what I feel while writing it.
Yes, I agree.
Like because there is no numbers. If there's the numbers are pretty high, then we can talk about more financials. There's no location or some specific thing mentioned, then it could be I understand like how negative it would be. If I read it, it is more positive side because it will give us a more strengthen to our supply chain. Maybe a cost of input would be less, or there would be no issue in the transition of a process because we are in the industry, so we have multiple point to write it to go for acquisition rather than not to going for acquisition.
That's true. Anyone who thinks Satish, Utkarsh, you want to go ahead with this or no? With this acquisition?
So the reference material it mentions about the geopolitical situation and also mentions that future exports might be difficult from that location. So considering that point, acquisition in that particular location might be risky. So we can either propose look for similar suppliers outside in a different location where the geopolitical risk is less.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't. For this point, can you explain again, Misbah and the guy who was speaking? I didn't get it because, like, is it from where we are acquiring it? There is a issue of uh like the supply chain issue, or we are acquiring it because we have a supply chain issue? Misbah, maybe I didn't understand the
Satish, you
bottom.
want to repeat the point?
Yeah, so if you go to the next, the reference material,
Yeah.
it is,
Can you see now?
yeah. So
Yeah.
the second paragraph mentions a recent shift in international policy has resulted in immediate halt to outbound of these materials from the region. So I'm assuming that where we are planning to have this potential acquisition, we will have difficulty in shipping out um, even if we acquire the company there.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I
But
understood wrong.
the assumption or understanding, maybe I have is we are acquiring in a similar industry or business where it is not on that geopolitical area where we
Yeah,
are
this
having.
is what I was thinking, Prabhakar. I thought this way.
It is outside. So other, if we are going to go for acquisition in the same area, not sure whether that will be more feasible or it will make more viable actually. Because if we know that there is a geopolitical outrest is there and restrictions are there, and you create, you acquire one particular industry there, then again we'll have a problem. So rather, I will acquire a similar material supply person where I don't have any trouble in getting those things. That way it will work.
Yeah, so it's more of a response. We have to manage the trouble, therefore we are doing acquisition. But we can put an argument that we can look for something even safer than this, or see if there is other risk involved with this acquisition. Maybe we'll do the acquisition. This is stable now, but tomorrow we have issues in this part also. What we can do?
Maybe
Mr.
if I have to analyze the
Yeah,
case, so I will put forth as a structure. I think I will put forth pros and cons,
mm-hmm.
and as a final conclusion, I will mention my alignment to the commitment that we are making to our clients. That I will ensure that we need to be able to supply these raw materials or whatever prototypes we are committing, so that it will not further hamper their projects or their goods or their time plan. So I think we will need to go for this acquisition and track it so that we do not derail what we have chalked out the plan for ourselves. I think that's how I will conclude or align my thoughts.
Miss, I just want to highlight one thing. So, like, though we have no operation in overseas, so we already have experience with the geopolitical issues. So, means we already know the things, those things in our system.
Right. We have been managing it. Now things have gone a little bad, but we have been doing it already. Yes, you can
Yes.
argue that. So there is no right and wrong answer in the case studies, as we have discussed so many times. It's all about how you look at it. If you look from positive thing, you'll get only positive. If you look from negative, you'll get both. Both. Ideally, be in the middle. Try to bring both the topics. Then you can just do the conclusion. Okay. Main thing is understanding the question correctly, which you guys have done. That's fine. Now the second one. Reflect on how the sudden fall in extrusion revenue may influence our short-term financial position. Basically, here we have the number also. The Legacy Extrusion division has reported sharp 23% revenue decline in this quarter. Basically, our revenue has gone down and it is affecting our cash flow. So they're asking may influence. Basically, our strategy for managing the cash flow, how it will affect, or you can even give points how you'll manage cash flow now. So this is very generalized. I think any company, any industry, how they will manage if they have loss of revenue, what they usually do. You can even think about from your own experience where you're working now. What is a logical option if you are into this situation?
aggressively marketing, Misbah, like capturing new markets or maybe the new customer base,
Okay.
considering the fact we are losing our revenue from the obviously the repeated customers. So we have to aggressively focus on our marketing, like how much orders we are getting and how much we are materializing in those into the sales, actual sales. And short-term targets with the like comparison the short-term targets with the achieved ones, like what was the target and what was the achieved one in the last month, like into the we can say we can divide into the tranches of the 12 months, so we can manage how the parameters are going on.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think there should be, first of all, a damage control. First of all, you have a supplier, all this basically your AR, accounts receivable, because if there's a sudden reduction in your revenue fall, these are all the short-term financial positions. So basically, they are talking about the current assets and the current liabilities. So whether you'll be able to meet your current liabilities from your current assets. So first of all, the damage control on that side is very necessary, that how much is your AR, whether you're receiving your receivables on time, whether those that is having an impact. Then your cash, that is important. So in terms, I think that they are asking mainly about the working capital here.
Yes.
Uh, so concentrating on that post position, seeing that working on those current assets and the liabilities and trying to, I exactly don't recollect how much, but yeah, from the case study we'll be able to figure out. This is what they're.
That's correct. Then you can also talk about what short-term credit option we have, our relationship with the banks.
Yeah, because whether you'll be able to meet the interest, because we have a huge amount of gearing. So whether the how
Right.
it will also affect our gearing. That also is it. So maybe give the risk first in the answers, and then give the solution that what exactly we can do. So structure in such a way.
Or do we need to change the pricing? The revenue reduction maybe sometime compensate. We can
The
charge the
problem
premium
is
price by adding more services if possible.
uh, if you the problem is the main extrusion revenue is only itself is coming down. You can add another service like how we mentioned, maybe a cloud-based software, or but then it should be viable for you also. And it seems from what Kwirtmak is mainly they're choosing a differentiation strategy and not a cost competitor. So they, out of the three strategies that we have, they don't use the they use a differentiation strategy. So they want to give a higher perceived value of the product. And that's what itself is mentioned in the case study also, that the products are really of high quality and they provide a good technical expertise. So that's very clear in that. So if in differentiation strategy, I'm not sure how will we work, but they want to perceive their product as a very high quality product compared to the competitors.
Right. Or we can write some point this maybe just this year we have seen it, and this can be because of geopolitical things. Companies have reduced their expenditure on R&D, because R&D is, again, companies have all the flexibility, and 1 year will not make a very long difference, very major difference, isn't it? So they are being conservative. That's the reason our revenue has declined. Maybe the next year we'll have it better. So we can manage it, but at the same time we can be a little positive, or try to understand a future contract from the company. Try to understand what's their commitment in the future. That will also help us to plan the revenues and eventually our cash flows. Clear? So you have to do this entire thing in writing, but not now. We'll go to the next. Any question from here? Any doubt? Anything?
No, Misbah.
So usually the same story continues. Now we are into task 2. So you'll get fresh 1 hour now. So what is the topic here? Market condition and competitive activity. Okay. As usual, first we'll start with the task. Consider how the recent movement in global currency markets may affect the financial outcomes of our international aerospace contract, how we might respond. It looks like we have gone ahead with that. It's about the currency. Basically, it's a financial risk. Second, reflect on how the recent competitive activity in the aerospace segment may influence our position with key clients. Second is about stakeholder management, or we can say key stakeholders. So usually what happened, customer or clients are high interest, low power. But when you're into B2B business, they become high interest, high power because number of clients are less and they contribute big revenue. So they are both high. So they become key players. I've attached a recent media summary outlining the sharp movements in global currency movements and the competitive activity emerging in the aerospace segment. These developments have surfaced at a time when our international contracts are already under pressure. The board is keen to understand how this shift may influence both our financial exposure and position with key clients. Financial outcomes, again, we are talking about our margin, our profit, eventually the dividend for the shareholders, the share price. These are like currency risk. So with currency risk, we have two risks. What's that? Transaction and translation risk. Translation is mostly on paper, but what we're actually looking at is transaction. And how we manage that, we have seen this in the X recently, hedging. But they're not asking you directly hedging. That's also another thing. It's asking how it may affect our financial, technically how it will affect our overall financial strategy. That's what they're looking at. Second, reflect on how the recent competitive activity in the aerospace segment may influence our position with key clients. That means competitive activity means our competitors are trying to reach out to them, or there is a risk of losing our key client to our competitor. Maybe because they're giving better service, better pricing, or they have come up with a better offer. Okay, let's see the reference, then we can come for the points now. Financial outlets are reporting heightened volatility across major currency markets falling revenue. So firstly, currency risk is high. Though we are in one country, but we are operating international. And we cannot charge our client always in our currency, right? They won't agree. Analysts note that commodity-linked currencies have experienced sharp swings, with several forecasting continued instability. Now, globally, also in the real world, we are seeing this situation, isn't it? And honestly, I believe this can be one of your examples. Currency risk, because CIMA usually likes to put exact scenario what is happening in the real. So be very prepared with this. Any topic related to currency risk, you should be able to write it. Put this as one of the top 10 expected questions. For firms with long-term international contracts, the rapid movements have raised concern about margin pressure and the difficulty to forecast cash flow with confidence. Industry reports highlight the impact of the ongoing metal shortage on aerospace manufacture. Time availability tightened. We discussed in the previous one. Contract fulfillment risk have increased across sector. Several commentators suggest that the firms exposed to these metals are facing rising cost pressures and uncertainty around delivery schedules. It's not risk, it's uncertainty. What's the difference between both? We've already seen risk is when you have the data, when you have the information, but uncertainty is beyond risk. And as a business, we don't want to be in uncertain situation. With uncertain, we don't have any reference point. We don't know how much we can lose. Meanwhile, trade publications have covered an aggressive marketing push by Bresco. Our competitor is now into the picture. So here, when they have just mentioned the name, automatically you can recall some of the numbers. You don't need to remember all the numbers of the competitor, but at least you should have an idea whether they are also doing the same revenue, same profit like us, better than us, or worse than us, how big they are. You know, the basic idea if you have about the competitor, it will help us to understand. Let's say if our computer in this situation is very big, but imagine if it is very small. So how you respond to the second question will be totally different. You'll say it's a small company like a startup, you don't need to worry about it. But now you have to worry about it. They're quite big. Promoting its ceramic-based printers tech as a stable alternative during the current metal shortage. The campaign has been targeted at major aerospace client and has gained significant visibility. There is a risk of losing, with analysts suggesting that Bresco is attempting to reposition itself as a low-risk supplier during a period of high uncertainty. It's not always that you'll have reference point on both the tasks. Maybe they'll not mention anything for the task B, but it's fine. It may be an open-ended question. Clear the reference material. Try to just read it once, twice in the same day. No need to come back to it again. First time itself you can make points, because if you read it so many times, or especially if you come back again after 10 minutes, you'll be like, read it again, it will waste time. In the first time itself you understand clearly, and that's the reason we have read the task requirement first. This is clear. Reference material. Honestly,
Yes,
Yes,
if I tell you, strategic case study is not one, is the number one easiest exam of all case study. Management case study also, strategic case study, sorry, operational case study also. Because here they are not giving you a lot of calculations, lot of uh, models, almost none. It's more about logic or business logic. But still students struggle here because they are biased or they are confused in the mind. Confusion in the mind. But if you are very clear what they are asking, what is the reference point, what I am giving a response, or I'm giving a response exactly what they ask for, that's it. You don't need so much here. Like in management case study, some of you have attempted, so you know how it works. If they ask what specific IFRS or specific model from P2, you have to know that technical aspect. But here that's not the case. That's the advantage you have.
and only three questions are here, so that's more
Yes.
advantage. Right.
Time wise also you have a very big advantage. You have one less task. So there you are answering 8 questions. Here you have only 6. Okay. I'll read the question again. Then you guys have to come with the answers. Consider how the recent movement in global currency markets may affect the financial outcomes of our international aerospace contracts and how we might respond. So there are 2 questions here. 60%. They are looking for response also, and they are looking for our financial strategy. Many times what happens, the student can miss the second point. We might respond. That means you have answered only 30%. 30% means 9 marks. Sorry, it's not 9. Here, if it is 50 marks, so it will be 30, 15, 15 marks. You have lost 15 marks. Then second is about a competitive activity. How the recent competitive activity in aerospace segment may influence our position with key clients. Basically, how we need to retain our key clients. Both are very logical questions. And we have kind of discussed this scenario in pre-scene analysis also. Right? So that's what we want. When you are into the exam, we want the scenario should be similar to you. So you'll have more points, more confidence. Yeah. So what's the point for the first one? How the currency changes will affect our financial strategy.
As you said, there would be a transactional risk because we have a long-term contract with aerospace companies, so we need to look into it. And being a big company, we never want a uncertain situation, but in this case, it can affect our margins, our margins that we are getting from our sales. It could be in a positive and negative both side, but still we don't want that. So and first thing is that, and another is even we are buying a raw materials in a different currencies or different transactions, so it will impact our input as well. like whatever we are buying from outside, it will impact that one as well. So and those two things I can relate in terms of margin and input cost as well. And if I'll go forward, maybe we can look into hedging techniques, or maybe forward contracts, or we can fix our international currency price, or we can use that currency that is more stable in a market like USG or some other. Like, this is what I know. Maybe we can add more.
Right. What else can we do?
Yeah, Ms.
The
So
answer should be
long-term,
very elaborative in detail.
yeah, long-term contract can be reviewed on a short-term basis, like time-to-time basis within a period of 6 months to mitigate those swings in the currency rates. Because obviously a long-term contracts may be beneficial for us as well as for the vendors as well. So to mitigate those kind of risk, we can review those contracts within a span of 2 times in a year.
Right. What else? Think about, first we can look at our revenue split. You know, which currency we have the highest revenue coming in. We might have client in 40, 50 countries, but some of them are only basic. Basic as in majority of the client is only from 2, 3 currencies. Right?
Yeah.
And how we might respond, that also you think.
Yeah, as Akshay said, like for those particular currencies, we may book the hedge contracts with the banks or the financial institutions to basically minimize those kind of the swings.
What else we can do? This is a very basic. We need a 60% answer, so it should be more detailed.
No glue, Misbah. Maybe you can add on the pointers.
Everyone can give one point. Why everyone want silent? It's very basic scenario, right? I already give you a hint. We can say, as a part of financial strategy, we can look at which currency is contributing the highest. Start with that. See the cost and benefit analysis. How much it costs for you to do hedging, and how much you are safeguarding. Do you want to do only for the client from this industry or other industry also? And especially when you're going for hedging, do you want to do long-term hedging or just for this year? Because the geopolitical tension may be only for this year, and things will eventually stabilize.
So, Misbah, we can discuss and agree with the customers to invoice in the home currencies so that we can minimize those kind of risks. But that should be after discussion, obviously.
But do you think clients will do that? What are the disadvantages? Is it professional to ask them to do invoicing around currency? Because if you see, the whole scenario is our competitor is trying to be more proactive. If you think that way, you might even lose our key clients. Look at the second
Yeah.
scenario, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Think for some time, Think for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and what else can be there? Here, there is no right and wrong. It's all about what depth of answer you can give. That's what will decide how much marks you are getting here. What else? Why others are very silent?
What else we can do?
Sachin, what you will do here? Think about a normal scenario. This is not only for Kwirtmak.
Yeah, I was thinking the same as well about the hedging or currency futures. We could um, give the option to the supplier to save both from that aspect, and the effect on our financials would be the risk of transactions. The currency goes very up and down. It can affect our cash flow in future. So I was thinking external hedging, either futures or forward contracts.
So in the how we might respond, we can talk about hedging, and we have a treasury department already in house. We have seen that this is part of this under the CFO.
Maybe we can create or agree with suppliers in terms of invoicing on one single currency, and also maybe the contracts can be revisited by having a negotiation if currency fluctuations are more than certain normal higher percentage. There can be a damage clause or some kind of benefits can be given back, passed back to the suppliers. In that way, both the teams, both the parties' interest is not affected. It can be one of the recommendations as well.
Right. So when you
Mr.
talk about yeah,
Mr.
continue.
In the board level, we have a daughter Radha who is economist, and no, she has served almost 3 government as advisory committee. So she, the answer we can suggest here, Ada is an economist. She can give the for the currency risk in the global wise. She can help us, right? The answer
Yes.
we can.
One more point, Ms. Ba, here we can do netting with the same currency so that we can net the expense with the incomes which are doing in the same currency.
Right. That is a part of again mitigation, but yes.
Yeah.
But the first point, when you talk about financial outcome, when we even go one step back, financial strategy, we have to look for all the aspects: investment, financing, and dividend. So we have to see how this will affect our investment, how it will affect our financing, how it will affect our dividend also. For example, if we don't do that, we might lose money and we can have issue with our financing, the future financing, or paying dividends.
Sorry, Miss, but can you explain it more, like how with the example how we can go through with it
For
in this?
example, if we are getting, if we are losing money with the transaction, right? So
Yeah.
you'll have less cash to pay for the dividend. Now, again, you have to reduce it, your commitment. So one of that will be dividend. Then again, it can affect our cash flow. And if you want to raise finance for the investment, so the risk factor will be higher. Especially now, our beta is more than 2, isn't it? If you
2.3.
need
Yeah.
more money and bank knows that you are not manager financial risk, don't you think bank will increase the interest and our risk profile will go up?
So in this case, how are we gonna discuss it? Because
You
sorry,
can
I'm
say as
asking
an
you again and
overall
again.
outcome. We are just taking different scenarios to explain with the example as a
But
broader financial strategy.
when we are writing, like, how,
Mhm.
can we write this way? Like, we need to look into a dividend pay, and this will impact our
So you can
gearing
write
ratio.
one paragraph saying that we have to look at overall financial strategy that
Okay.
this transaction risk is not only for the aspect of losing the revenue number, but it's also affecting our dividends, investment,
Okay.
financing. Everything is connected.
Okay.
Everything
Okay.
is interdependent. So when you're doing cost and benefit analysis, don't look at the benefit in terms of profit, but look at overall organization, right?
Yeah, that
Look at
makes sense.
overall risk profile.
Yeah, because I was confused. Like they are asking about more about revenue, or if I'll start writing about dividend, how it will go. But
Don't
yeah,
you think it's all connected?
yes, definitely it's connected. But for my perspective, if it is they are asking something and I started writing it, even if it is connected, but it's not directly connected to the question that they are asking. So that's why I was confused.
Right. So it's not mandatory to answer that, but that's also another point. You need only 3 points. 3 points you can write, and 3 points for mitigation, or 4 points on the financial outcome, and 2 points to response. That's enough. Yes, Mr. Amir.
Okay. After going through the question and the briefing given, I feel the way we can structure this answer is first we need to list down the things that will have impact on. Okay, like the margins will be impacted, the other things which are being impacted all needs to be listed first. Okay, so there
Yeah.
are margins, there is cash flow, and there is increased in competition will also have increased because of the margins. So once we have all the, because it's asking for outcome of financial outcomes, right? So first we list down the items that will be impacted, and then we, have the suggestions for this, like which was mentioned earlier. Like we can do hedging, we can have, when we are quoting for financial outcomes, we will have more. In the international contracts, you can have a margin on currency fluctuation also. So
Right.
which will be basically a contractual protection on this. Then you can have insurance also for currency fluctuations.
Right. So what you're saying is first list down the high impact areas.
Yes.
Then based on that, we can have strategy on specific points separately.
So is this the way we need to structure our answer? First have the impacted items and then give the, your suggestions on how to mitigate these.
Yes, you can write that way. It's completely fine.
Or is there a better way to, structure the answer here?
No, I mean, this is also fine, but make sure for example, you have 5 points in your mind, but look at the requirement. You might only need to write 3 to 4 here. So write just top 3 4 you have in your mind and explain that in detail. Obviously, you have suggested answer now. We'll be discussing suggested answer, so that will give more clarity. This is just the first mock, so don't worry. Once you attempt this and you write, you'll have a different problems. Then after writing, once you look at suggested answer, you'll get more clarity. But in simple words, how you guys are thinking, that's correct. And I don't want you to change your thing or style. No, everybody can think or work on the same way you have been doing because you don't have that much time. Only thing is we need to align with the requirement. That's fine. And CIMA has said officially for one question you can have hundreds of correct answers. Everybody has a different perspective. And strategy is more over an art. We are not doing any calculations. We are not looking for a specific answer. Okay. What about the second one? Second one can be interesting. Basically, our competitor is trying to take away our clients. Now, what to do with this? How to manage the situation?
First, we need to know the ideas they are giving, like using a different raw material. Will it work in that industry or not? Because commitment they are giving, they are using completely different material. So maybe it's just saying, or they are doing it to capture the market. I don't think so. It's feasible to change a metal from ceramic. This is what I was feeling when I was reading.
Right, possible. They are promising, but maybe that the quality and everything is not
Yeah,
right.
because it's too risky business as a aerospace. You cannot just put anything instead of something else. It's a life. It's extremely risky, and especially in recent past, if you can see, like we can give the example of Boeing's and others. Like due to like I'm not sure it's feasible or not, but in last few years I have seen like there's so many incident in aerospace industry. So changing a material would be a risky thing, extremely risky.
Right. Just because of the material. Uh, but at the same time, it's a response to risk management. Why they might change? Because the ability of the normal material is in scarcity now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Puspa.
Misbah, to developing on that, so since we are already have a good pool of scientific staffs, PhDs, etc., we can basically assess whether ceramic based material is as durable as a metallic one. So that can be studied, and then we can engage with our customers telling that's beneficial or not beneficial. So that kind of engagement with clients can be done. Telling it's not good to go with ceramic and metal is better than them believing that ceramic is better.
Right.
Also, I would like to add there is a mention of carbon fiber in the case study, and we don't work with carbon fiber at the moment, so we can think of marketing that for the aerospace segment and counter the Briscoe marketing of ceramic with carbon fiber. I think that's an option that we can explore because many automobile and aerospace industries are switching to carbon fiber for the usage.
Right. So how you can answer this is when you have made the stakeholder list, you have to put your clients as key players, isn't it? Did you guys put it? Because we are into B2B, we have already talked about it. And I told you to put a section how you manage them. So can you just quickly tell me how you are managing, what you have put in your stakeholder list? Just that one paragraph. What you have put in your Excel sheet analysis. Just tell me that, all of you, one by one. Because that's what this answer is looking for.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Amani.
Yes, yes. As per pre-scene, we do not have any experience in the airspace supply. Basically, we have some airport supply for repair, uh, as pre-scene has described. So it is a new item we are going to enter into the market. So in that case, it should be based to, we have to invest for research and development and go further. And it is a very sophisticated and a very risky space. So we have to prepare a complete structure for investment, research and development.
Yeah, that's fine as well. How you manage the key clients? What is the point you have put in your thing?
So in that case, for our proposal should be for research and development. We have directors in the universities. By that, we should prepare a complete team, and we should collect funds and invest either with the university or separately, like this way. Install complete structure as we shall be the fit for the same job, because in our objective it was we are innovative, so we have to innovate something and we have to introduce something which can accept.
Okay. What about others?
From the standpoint of government policies, Ms. Ba, we can discuss with our NEC because she is from the government department as well, and she might knows the recent changes or development, because I believe aerospace sector have some kind of acceptable, you can say, material list, like they may have or may not have the ceramic
Right,
in their
strict
list. So
regulation. Okay, that
yeah.
all is fine. It makes sense. My last question is clear. How you will retain your key clients? Simple. Tell me 2, 3 strategies. I hope you have put that in your stakeholder analysis also, right? Hello. Is the question clear? How you'll retain your key customers, key clients?
Yes, Ms. So we at Kwirtmak, we are very we offer differentiated goods to our clients. So in order to retain them, it's important we stick to that differentiation and customization that our customers ask. So like for aerospace, we have to be sure that we deliver exactly what they want and customize the product as per their requirements. And if we deviate from customization and the requirement, that would mean we might lose them.
You're saying
Provide
you
any
customize.
additional services like technical expertise in addition to the normal just products, 3D printers.
Mahesh, can you repeat?
Or I'm saying that, provide provide the 3D printers as a package, as a service. So not only just provide them the 3D printers that you're selling them the 3D printer, maybe give them a full service that in case like, if there is a cloud-based, the whole CAD software, CAD, the CAD software, provide them the cloud-based software, where they can actually connect because it's an aerospace industry. So, there might be a lot of, it's between two different geographies. So whether they can connect and whether they can kind of, cloud printing kind of a software, provide them those kind of services, add those, make them as a full package service, sell them as that. So they will be more inclined to come to you rather than going to Bresco because they will get a full service. They will not have to just buy the printer. They'll get a full service as such, as a package.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Further, Misbah, as it's a high margin industry, so we can give some early bird discount and obviously for the long-term contracts discount if they have with us.
Like if they're ready to look for a long-term contract, yes.
Yes.
Musma, we can also try the similar. We can also try to find more using of different kind of materials in our printing. We can also move towards ceramic or something if it is possible.
See, as long as we're able to fix them, give an alternate option. Like ceramic, not be as fast, pretty, like which we are already using it. So maybe we can come with something else, some other technology or some other ways where we can give them the same quality with an alternate option. So that's where we might have to invest more on R&D and to find out and recommend them a solution so that customers they can compare with the competitors way of doing an ours and they can decide. We can give them. Plus also for all key clients, maybe we can get into a pricing which can be more competitive. Unless we move more on revenue, we can give them some trade-offs can be done. That way we can retain our clients, giving them some dedicated support along with the sales. That those type of additional services can help. Few suggestions, Ms. Paul, we can do to retain the clients.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we give any suggestions for material? Because we do not have any experience or any knowledge about which material should be the best, whether ceramic or any metal or like that. Only the people, those who are experienced and knowledge about these material, only they can. Well, I think so. We should not provide any suggestions that this material or that material. Am I correct?
Right. So basically, with the material, we can have our own understanding or research, but ultimately that company will do their research more than us. They are concerned which material they can use, isn't it? So we need to have a good relationship with them. So there is a change of information. We also have an idea what they are planning for the future.
One more point, Misbah. We can appoint one non-executive director from the aerospace industries,
Very
so
good, sir.
that we can have the insights of that industry as well, and accordingly we can modify our company in that manner.
Yeah, maybe who somebody was a CEO or something for a top company.
Yes, yes,
That person can be the NED, yes. And it will also balance our board. That's
yes.
interesting. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Amir.
Yes, actually, I was also discussing on the same point that we should not get into technical details of recommendations like we should go into ceramic or we should check for any other material available. Instead of that, we can also mention that we can, have more investment in research and development so that we can also, have additional ways to manufacture if there is any shortage in metal, if there is any shortage, if the competitors are doing, getting into different kind of raw materials. So one thing we could do is, have some more investment in research and development, and then also ensure that we have long-term contracts with our key clients instead of having short-term contracts. And with long-term contracts, we can also have better pricing. We might go down a little with the margins, but we will ensure that the revenue is, confirmed for the next 2 or 3 years.
Got it. So this very easy question task B, make sure you write it in a good way and score good marks. Whenever the question is very easy, try to score as much as possible. And how you can score good? By giving them a detail or some intellectual answer. If you just give basic answer, like you say, okay, we need to satisfy the customer. No, you have to go in deep and say how you satisfy the customer. You should have an idea what kind of problems you'll have to satisfy the customer in our industry. So we have to go a little bit deeper. And if Bresco is doing something unethical, illegal, you can report to the competition authorities. You can take a legal action. That also is a way to manage it, right? Or if they are doing that, we can also follow that. We'll take away their key clients. That's normal in the industry. Okay. We can arrange conferences. We can sponsor the conferences. We can get into their market.
We can have conferences which can, highlight basically usage of their material and what are the cons of that.
Yes. We
And
we
also
have
mention the
we have good relationship with the
pros.
media. That also we can
Yes.
use to highlight what unethically they are doing and what actually is benefit of going with us.
Right.
And we see this happening with like Pepsi and Coke is a very good example. Then Mastercard, Visa is another one. Mostly they are consumer facing, so we need see it more often. But when it's B2B, the things are going behind the scenes. Only industry people will understand.
So,
Okay.
Misbah, one point here.
Yeah.
Can we make a advertise like a Coke and Pepsi showing in the early era, like one company is showing that others product is not good in that manner, like we are kids are playing with two toys. One is with ceramic aerospace, like ceramic toy, and second one is playing with the titanium toy, and ceramic toy is like crashed in 2 3 minutes, so like that advertise.
So the simple answer is yes, but again, your audience is not. Why you can't copy exactly what these companies are doing because they are direct to consumer, right? D2C brands.
Yes,
We are
yes.
B2B, business to other businesses. So we need to be highlighted. Our clients are less emotional,
Mhm.
very less emotional. They're very rational. They also have their board of directors.
Yeah.
Then they are not looking in the televisions or YouTube advertisement. What they'll
Mhm.
be looking at this conferences, then business magazine, expert recommendations, government regulation, isn't it?
Yeah.
For example, if you are changing the material, it can impact the weight of the aircraft. That will affect the mileage, and that's the biggest problem they are facing, the aircraft industry, isn't it?
Yeah, got
Because
your
of the
point.
weight, the mileage goes down, and as you know, the oil prices is constantly going up. So try to solve their problem. They'll stay with you. Simple.
Okay, got you.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed.
Yes. So basically, we had done this in our company when we had introduced a new product. We had
Mm-hmm.
invited all the key executives of the major key clients to for a small workshop, and then we highlighted how our new product is going to work, how it is better than the previous one, all the pros and the cons of the new products. And also in this same workshop, we gave them a live demo of the new product, how it is working and all that. So in this case also, to mitigate this risk that these key clients might go for the competitors, they can call in for a workshop, get all the key decision makers of these key clients, and you give them a brief on the technicality of our products and what the other people are providing.
Super. That's a very good example. And the best thing I like it, we are not using the word marketing here. It's all about workshop, conferences. Ultimately, it's all about marketing, but we don't want to use that word. We want to say it in a different way, like relationship management, because that also makes the difference. But yeah, that's a good strategy. All right. Moving on to the last one, the third task. You have fresh 60 minutes again. Market activity and shareholder position. Task A, consider how we might determine an appropriate view of the company's value in the current circumstances, business valuation. Then reflect on how an unsolicited approach of this nature may affect the organizations more broadly and how the board might respond. Technically, when we reach the third task in the CIMA exam, the question can ease up. It's comparatively easier. But here it is the same difficulty, just because we want to prepare on a difficult task first. Okay, let's see what they're saying. As a CFO again, I have attached an extract from confidential board memo outlining recent market speculation around a possible hostile approach from Besco. So Bresco is not stopping. This guy want to acquire us. And what is the keyword here? Hostile. What do you mean by hostile? When we are not interested, it's like forceful, unwelcoming acquisition. With trading activity becoming unusual and confidence already fragile, the board wants to understand how the situation may influence shareholder sentiment and a broader position. Honestly, we saw this coming because if you see from Bresco's perspective, this is the best time to acquire us. Why? Because the share price is less. And now, and it's not just immediate, it's been from a long time. So if they offer something lucrative to the shareholders, they might get tempted to sell. And honestly, this can be an exam question as well. Okay. Market activity and organization exposure. Commentators have reported unusual trading patterns in Kwirtmak shares over the past week, with several analysts suggesting Bresco may be preparing an unsolicited approach. The speculation has intensified following a series of investor briefings held by Bresco, which some believe were designed to test appetite for the potential. We have not received, it's a speculation. Okay. The timing has raised concern given the recent operational pressure linked to supply disruption and the downturn in the extrusion division. From their perspective, this is the best time so that they can negotiate. They don't have to pay a very big premium, isn't it? Industry observers note that firms experiencing short-term volatility in performance are often viewed as vulnerable to opportunistic bid. With their response expansion facing uncertainty and liquidity pressure emerging, some shareholders may be more open to engagement with rival bidders. We are already, struggling to manage our shareholders. The board recognized that maintaining confidence among institutional investors will be critical in the coming days. What is institutional investor? Basically, the major shareholders. There is also growing discussion about the wider implications of hostile approach for Kwirtmak's culture, brand, and long-term direction. Analysts have highlighted the potential for disruption to ongoing programs, uncertainty among employees, and the risk of strategic drift if the organization become consumed by defensive activity. The board is considering how to best position the company should a formal bid emerge. If the bid emerge, technically, if you remember, we discussed pre-bid and post-bid thing in the last chapter of F3. So we are into the situation of pre-bid. So if you see, this scenario is connected to the previous one. Previous one, Bresco was trying to take our customers and we responded it. Now they're trying to take our company. So two tasks. First is how we might determine an appropriate view of the company's value in current circumstances. Basically, our company's value. Why? To get the shareholders' confidence, to get the key stakeholders' confidence. Then reflect on how an unsolicited approach of this nature may affect organizations more broadly and how the board might respond. Technically, what should be the response of the board in this situation? Pre-bid defense kind of thing. The question is clear? Is the question clear?
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Yes.
You can think sometime what can be the points. Don't rush for the answer points. Even in the exam, don't rush. Just wait and see if you have understood correctly. Sometimes if it is an easy topic, we will rush and will make mistakes. And the questions are designed to confuse you. It is purposely designed like that. It's like a trap. And no wonder that's the first reason why students have received. Ready? And remember the first question, the keyword they have mentioned, current circumstances. So basically what the board is looking for is the current circumstances is not highlighting the real value of the company. So maybe they're looking for some kind of valuation which actually highlights all the strength we have and highlight in the long run we are very big company, our valuation is good. We cannot be undermined just on the specific performance of last 2-3 years.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Raman.
But it is a purely a how we can value. So we, in my opinion, we can consider to make it on the market value, considering not the actually the present share value situation or the dividend, but also we have to add the market value of our new projects. So that can add and increase the value of our company.
Sorry, can you explain again?
So we have to consider our market value basis, our company's value on market value basis. The market value, whenever we will consider the market value, So in that case, our total asset plus our upcoming projects would be added, and we have to evaluate on that basis. The upcoming projects can increase our value.
So market value, as in you're referring to, we can use the share price.
Not only the share price, it is not always it is not the share price. The growing nature, the growth possibility can be added. It is not the present, with the future also.
I think future discounted cash flows can be better in
Right.
this case.
DCF model.
Yeah.
Okay.
So discounted cash flow approach or discounted cash flow model is one we can use. And you have to also talk about it, why this model is good. Obviously not everything, but at least, 2-3 characteristics you can talk about.
Yeah, Misbah. So using of this method is basically because as we have our share price at the bottom, and it might not provide the true picture of our company valuation and the growth opportunity which Kwirtmak may have in the future. Obviously, yeah, the order in it, or the order in the pipelines and its order book, considering the fact. So if we value those projects, the upcoming projects, and discount all those, so it will give us a true value of our business.
Right. That's one way. What other option you have?
Just one question, actually, Misbah.
Yes, sir.
Should we name all the, like, oh, these are the various models, and then go that, according to me, that, according to us, that this should be the correct model, or we directly should answer that this is the model that is there? That's it.
Right. So here, that's a good point, Mahesh. That's the primary confusion I think anybody will have. So they have not directly asked us to mention all the evaluation method, but they're asking how we might determine it. So how you will decide on which evaluation model to use. So I think it will be a mix of both. You can say before determining the evaluation method, you should consider this, like future prospect and all of this into thing. Then you can talk about maybe, let's say, just two evaluation method. Then you can recommend one of them, or you can say the first probability will be this one, then the next one is this. These two are the good ones, like that.
Okay.
For example, even
Thanks.
asset-based valuation is really good here if you're using with the CIV, where the intangible is also taken care of, because we are an asset-rich company. And you should also include this we are doing because the Bresco is chasing us. This is also kind of defense we are playing. Why company want to value here? Because we want to show our shareholders that if Bresco is giving you, let's say, double the share price. So a share price $50 and they're giving you $100 per share, but still it's too less. We are worth 200, we are worth 250. That's the reason we want to do the valuation of the business. We are not buying or selling anything. Make sense?
Yes.
Why we are doing is very important. We just want to theoretically show the highest price of a company so that the shareholders and particularly the key stakeholders are confident in the company's future. Otherwise, they will get tempted to sell because definitely Bresco will give them premium. However, there is another point linked to ethics that is part B, but we can just link here as well. Is the board of directors need to be ethical? Ethical as in we are not opposing the bid just because to safeguard the job of ours, like board of directors, senior managers. No. If you feel it is beneficial for the company, it's not a problem if the company wants to take us, if they want to take us. But if you feel it's not, which here doesn't look right, they are not that big size, and again, a lot of other problems. We are better off our own as well. Then it's not an ethical issue. But in certain cases, it can become an ethical issue. Yeah. What else you'll talk about in that?
Ms. I was thinking, can we also not mention about other factors apart from just qualitative factors, some other factors such as our existing relationship with the clients or our reputation in this aerospace industry and how we plan to grow and what measures we'll be taking to be more, have a bigger market share, or all these things. Can we just elaborate on this as well?
Yes, you can. You don't need to talk about only the valuation method. You can talk about the logic behind it and why we need to do it. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Coming to the next is the board response. This is more a very straightforward question. How do you think board will respond to this or should respond? You can even think about the previous question. Firstly, they started with taking away our clients, chasing our clients, and now they are aggressively interested. But again, it's an assumption, it's not final. But usually, when we have this kind of discussion, we are correct. There is a
Hello.
small probability they might not, or they will change the strategy, but there is very high probability they will bid for us. We have to prepare.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed.
I could not follow which are the unsolicited approach.
Basically, how they are trying in the reference material, they have to talk about it. Maybe they are planning. Okay, why it has come up? Because following a series of investor briefing held by Bresco, which some believe were designed to test appetite of potential bid. So we don't have an exact idea for this, but we are assuming. And what is that? They have not given in detail. They have just given us a hint. For example, they are saying growing discussions. Why these discussions are happening? If you ask, we don't have an answer. But definitely there is something. Or maybe they have already started buying our shares. They've already started buying shares, not from their company account, but maybe from other auctions. But the question here is about how the board might respond. You have to give a response here. Yes, Satish.
Misbah, one doubt here. So here is the question in two parts. That is, first one is how it will affect the organization, and then how the board might respond. So two to 3 points for the first, and board response 2 points.
Technically, yes, but both the points are very close. So you can even try to answer in one way also is fine because there is no major difference. Like in certain questions, it will be very different here. But what the board will do, ultimately that will affect the organization, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer for both will remain the same.
Okay.
So, Misma, in this case, I believe board should have a detailed discussion with the stakeholders and considering the major shareholders as well, and understand the concerns and obviously elaborate their view on the company's future, and accordingly they can have a view on the potential bid which we receive in the near future from the Brasco. First point is this, and accordingly, as you already said that Bresco is already starting, may started their like purchasing their
There is
shares.
100% something happened, therefore we are discussing this at board. It's not like only an assumption, right?
Yeah.
And you can reference this to the previous scenario. First, they start with our chasing our clients. We can talk about that. That is a very big hint, isn't it?
Yes.
That they will try to take over our company.
Hello.
Yeah.
Whether buyback can give some potential result in this case.
Buyback means you want to buy Bresco?
Buyback on
Yes.
share.
Buyback on shares, our shares.
Buyback shares. Yes, maybe.
To save the percentage of shares around the market, so they
From
cannot
the
acquire
market.
as hostile way,
Yes,
even they
yes.
wanted to.
So what are the pre-bid options we have? We have to talk to the shareholders. We can even change the article of association, make it more difficult, or supermajority is required.
What is super majority? Misbah?
Like not just 50%, like up to 80%, 70% is required. Majority of the shareholders should be ready, then only the acquisition will be allowed for it. We can change some regulations here and there to make it more difficult.
But it will not take time, like Misbah, if we put, because changing these kind of regulation will also take some kind of board meeting, and we need to indulge all the stakeholder in it. And if they are doing it in a hostile and a quick way, they try to acquire shares in a share market. I'm just asking, like, how we gonna point it
Yeah,
out in
it
the.
will take time, but from their side also it will take time. They cannot just do it because such a big company, one of the biggest in the world. They also
Yeah.
need to arrange the finance.
Yeah.
Or if they're doing share for share, ideally the best thing is to gain the confidence of our shareholder. That's the reason we are doing valuation of the company, to show what we are truly worth of. Or we might have to do a demerger. So if there are two separate companies, then the value of the company will be even better. Because sometimes if it is all together, the value is not been shown. Or it's not true.
Or we can acquire some other company to show the strength in a market.
Maybe. Like in the first scenario we discussed. Possible.
Or Misbah, there is a possibility that they will provide a good deal, which may provide a synergy uh, effects to both of the companies, and obviously for the shareholders as well, it will be beneficial. So, although it's a remote situation in this kind of circumstances,
Yes, possibility is there. So there can be so many possibilities. What we have to see is what both might do in this situation. That's a simple question.
So,
If you want to highlight this point, you can say board need to be ethical.
yeah.
We need to do what is good for the shareholders, not to safeguard our job, as we discussed. Another option we have in the board is report to the competition authorities, because at least in our country it will be like a monopoly now. And as we have discussed that 25%,
Yeah.
it should be more than 25% of market. So think about it. You can take some time. Then I want to see these answers. By when you can submit this?
Sure, Misbah will try to submit in a day or two.
So ideally you have 3 hours to do it, but we have already brainstormed for 2 hours now. So being a first mock, you can take some time, but next time you'll not have time to do it. Everything should be together.
Sure.
Okay. My plan for today was to make you write in the class itself. I thought at least one task you'll write and we can review directly. But I feel like you guys were not ready to write. It's fine now. You can write as per your convenience. Share with me. Then you'll get individual feedback and some of the points we can discuss in the next. What we can do in the next class, you can come prepared. We can write at least one task in class. Or if
Misbah,
you guys
next
are
class
flexible, as I
on,
said. Yes, Akshay, what do you think?
I'm asking next class is on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, if you guys are okay, we can do Tuesday evening after your work, UK time.
Misbah,
India, it can
actually,
be
I
little
believe,
late. You have to stretch a little bit.
yeah, I believe working hours of everyone is different, maybe different. So can we do it 2 times in like 2 class jointly on Saturday? Is it possible for you?
We can stretch, that's not a problem. I'm
Yeah.
okay. You guys suggest me how you want to go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Misbah, I have seen the 5 mock test you have provided.
Yeah.
Out of that, the one of the keystone, number 1, I have seen the details. I could not follow actually in the matter. If
This
it
is
is
the first
possible.
one only what we are seeing on the screen. This is the first mock what you are seeing on the screen.
Yes, in the first part, I was not joined that time. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
You can
Misbah,
just look
when
at it. If there
you
is anything, we can talk.
okay, when you upload the answer for first mock, like maybe
I
after,
want you to write the answer first, then I'll.
because yeah, I know. Okay,
I can upload now, but I want you to write.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Misbah, no. Please don't upload now.
Yeah, because we'll get tempted and you'll read the answer first.
Yes, actually. It's a basic human nature.
Yes. Even if I upload for the other one, don't check the answer before you write.
Yeah,
And for
sure.
this, you guys already know the answer, isn't it? We have discussed it.
Yeah.
So this should be the very easiest mock of all. So write the answer and I'll give individual feedback, or we'll see on the Tuesday session. You let me know the availability. Otherwise, I'll connect with you guys separately also and we can talk. But it will be interesting to talk to you with your answer once I have your answer. Then if we talk, that will be good. Okay. But finish
Miss
that E3 first and that analysis that is pending.
Tuesday at what time we have class?
I was thinking maybe 6, around 5 or 6 p.m. UK time if we can do.
Okay.
10, it's 10:30 in India, Misbah. Tell.
Yeah,
Yes.
10 to 12 if you guys can stretch one session, I think it should be fine because anyway it's exam time, you have to stretch.
So till when our class will be?
2 hours.
Okay. Okay. And this month, how many days we have classes?
We'll have on Saturday, Sunday, that's plan, but that's what I'm saying. I want an individual plan from you.
Even
Based on
last
that,
Saturday, Sunday also we have. Then the final before the exam.
yes. So what we have to do now is you have access to all the mock. This was the first one. I have given you access. Now it's up to you how much and how fast you can do. Group sessions are a weekend, but on weekdays you can connect on regular basis. Also, if you need, you can call. And as soon as you
Yes,
finish the mock, you'll
I
get
may
the
be
feedback.
traveling on 17th. That's why
Yeah.
I'm just want to ask you.
Yes. I mean, group is on weekend, but weekdays you can connect to me firstly, and secondly, as soon as you guys finish mock, you will get the marking and all the feedback, exactly everything. I'm available daily.
So here we need to link all E3, P3, F3 or how? Or we need
Sorry?
to connect only situation?
Can you repeat the point?
Okay, here in the mark when we are practicing it, so we need to link all E3, P3, F3 or it depends on situation we have to connect.
I think we have already revised all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to. In Excel, again, the points will be covered. For example, in this mock, most of the questions were what we discussed in our pre-scene analysis, isn't it?
Yep.
Nothing was out of the box. So same thing will be there in other mocks also, and even the Excel. But if there is something you are struggling, for example, valuation, business valuation, you cannot recall now, then it's your personal weakness. You should go to the text and revise it. And there will be important topics also. I'll update soon, maybe in 2-3 days on the drive. If you do that, it will cover E3, P3, F3, industry, all of that. And if you are lucky, you'll get the same questions in exam. But there is no guarantee. Last time it was good, almost 80-90% questions are from there. Okay. So we can, what I would recommend is we can connect on Tuesday. If some of you are busy, I'll talk to them separately. I'll make a strategy.
So, Mispa, Tuesday is IST 10 p.m. to 12 midnight?
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please try to send the mock tomorrow. Okay. Don't delay.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm waiting for it. Thank you.
Thanks.